In January 2026, the President of the United States sent a letter to the Prime Minister of Norway. It skipped standard diplomatic pleasantries and moved straight to a singular demand: complete and total control of Greenland. The grievance driving this letter was highly personal. A month prior, the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to a Venezuelan opposition leader. The American president publicly and incorrectly blamed the Norwegian government for his failure to win the award. "I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace," he wrote in the opening lines. He explicitly linked the missing Nobel Prize to a renewed, aggressive push to annex an autonomous territory of the Danish kingdom. For Norwegian leadership, this correspondence clarified a harsh political reality. The superpower they depend on for their national survival was now openly extorting them. To understand how Norway ended up relying on the United States, we have to look north. Rising global temperatures are rapidly melting Arctic ice, opening up previously impassable, highly contestable sea routes. Russia immediately capitalized on this thaw. Over the past decade, they modernized their northern fleet, building out 42 heavy icebreakers and stationing nuclear-armed submarines along the Kola Peninsula, right on the Norwegian border. Facing the world's largest nuclear arsenal just a few miles away, Norway signed the 2022 Supplementary Defense Cooperation Agreement. This deal invited American troops onto Norwegian soil under a NATO program designed to secure the alliance's northern flank. The 2022 agreement provided the security Norway asked for, but it established legal infrastructure for American control far beyond typical NATO cooperation. This map shows the GI-UK gap, a choke point between Greenland, Iceland, and the UK. At this bottleneck sits Norway's Håkonsvern base. The 2022 agreement carves out U.S. exclusive zones here, off-limits to Norwegian personnel. Norway explicitly waives inspection rights and criminal jurisdiction over American forces. The United States has utilized these isolated pockets of territory to hold secret meetings with loyalist allies, dubbed the 5% Club, demanding unrestricted access to launch offensive operations directly from Norwegian soil. By hosting these exclusive zones, Norway hands over the keys to its most strategic assets. If the U.S. uses Håkonsvern to launch a strike against a state like Iran, Norway becomes a primary target for the counterattack, regardless of Oslo's stance on the conflict. While taking control of Norwegian military bases, the U.S. administration simultaneously squeezed Oslo's economy. The White House proposed sweeping 10 to 12.5% tariffs on Norwegian goods, citing allegations of forced labor in supply chains as the official justification. Norway strongly rejected the claim, pointing to their pioneering Transparency Act, a strict set of laws already on the books, specifically designed to eradicate forced labor in corporate supply chains. A second economic threat quickly followed. The U.S. president threatened an immediate 100% tariff on all goods coming from European countries that impose digital service taxes on major American tech companies. Some relief materialized when the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the president's use of an emergency economic law, effectively blocking $1.4 trillion in illegal import taxes that targeted European allies. However, separate tariffs imposed under Section 232, which uses national security as a justification, remain entirely intact. These ongoing taxes continue to drain billions from the European economy. Viewed alongside the Dear Jonas letter, the labor claims and digital taxes appear as tactical leverage. The economic pressure serves to weaken the target country until it yields to the broader demand for Greenland. The military occupation of Håkonsvern and the severe trade penalties both lead back to the administration's primary obsession, taking total control of Greenland. Greenland offers immense untapped mineral wealth beneath its melting ice. Strategically, it serves as the ultimate geographic cap on the GI-UK gap, giving whoever controls it complete dominance over the North Atlantic. To secure this 19th century-style territorial expansion, the United States is holding the collective defense of the European continent hostage. The pressure campaign is generating intense public blowback. Fierce protests erupted simultaneously in the streets of Greenland and major German cities, denouncing the NATO alliance. Inside Norway, grassroots movements are actively marching on their own naval and air bases, demanding the total removal of United States troops from Norwegian soil. This local anger translates into a severe geopolitical consequence. By weaponizing military protection to exact territorial and economic tributes, the United States is fracturing the decades-old NATO alliance from the inside out. It forces modern democracies into a difficult realization. In the race to secure their borders against foreign adversaries, a nation's greatest threat to sovereignty might be the superpower already sleeping inside its gates.